I would say it's the right day. So.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is Tuesday. All right. Okay, so we're live. Let's
Oh yeah.
see. Okay, so hold on. So let me do a test run with the chat. Hey, chat. Type 1 if you can hear me talk. I mean, just in case, well, if they can't type 1. Type 1 if you can hear me. All right, good. One. Good. One. All right, excellent. All right, that's what I needed to know. Hey, Craig, I need you to talk.
Yo yo yo.
Type 2 if you
I
heard
heard
Craig. If you heard Craig,
yeah.
type 2. Keep talking,
Yo
Craig.
yo yo. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. You all need to go see that movie Oppenheimer. Blew me away. Literally.
Really?
It was that good. Yeah.
Okay, good. All
Best
right.
picture, best actor, best actress, and best supporting actress should come out of this movie.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
best
incredible.
director. And best director.
All right. Okay, cool. So, all right, chat. So, how am I sounding? Because I'm trying to do new things. Always trying to improve little by little, bit by bit. But you know how I am with audio and setups, man. The shit could go left real quick, and then it becomes dog shit. You know what I'm saying? This podcast ends up being dog shit. You know what I'm saying? So I do my best to make sure that this podcast is not dog shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I try. You know what I'm saying? Y'all deserve a bit. The chat. The subscribers, the members. Y'all deserve a better class of criminal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give it to y'all. Clear as glass. You know what I'm saying? Oh snap! Oh, you sound great, P-Rock. Good. Little by little, improve the channel slowly, surely. Better effects.
Yo, I'm gonna.
Later on. Oh shit, we got E4 Extreme. But let me get in my soapbox real quick. I'm gonna improve little by little. I got plans to add like a little background. I plan to do whatchamacallit, like rolling screens with the names of the members across the screen and stuff like that. I also want to do I saw in just various things in different podcasts and stuff like that. Some ideas I'm gonna steal. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be like Sony. If there's an idea, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna copy. Fuck originality. I ain't gonna do anything original. I'm gonna do what works. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness though, I'm gonna slowly, little by little, just put more quality of life stuff. Working on adding little GIFs and images so you could start trying to do some funny ones. I don't want the basic stuff that we see. Something that's funny so you could use it in the chat that's unique and stuff like that. And unlike Sony and Microsoft, I will not raise subscription rates and stuff like that. That's not how it works here and stuff like that. In fact, the only reason why I do have membership is only because I had people hit me in the DMs, and because they can't, a lot of times they can't be here live and able to either provide a super chat or something. They wanted an alternate means other than, because they something more accessible other than going on live and whatever. I'm like, all right, but that's why I don't have like an in-depth. I don't have Patreon. I don't have OnlyFans. Sorry, I'm not gonna take my shirt off. Nope, not doing that. Can't do that. Yeah, and stuff like that. But anyway, doing a little bit of things. So the reason I was doing now Extreme was just checking the sound quality to see if it's improved a bit. Little by little, try to improve. Yeah. Do I sound better? Have you noticed it compared?
Listen, on Discord you always sound good, so it's hard. It's on.
Man, come on, tell the truth, man. Because before I was sounding dog shit. You can say it. I have no problem.
No, man. I'm gonna protect your feelings.
Nah. Here, I got no feelings. You can't protect something I don't have. I wasn't born. Listen, I'm a Marine. They took that shit out of boot camp. They're like, you get your feelings back when you retire. So the government took my feelings. They locked it up. They put it in safekeeping. They said this will be returned until you leave, but until you stay, you cannot have this. I'm like, damn. I have no feelings. But anyway, what's going on, Jen? So we're gonna go. Hey, Messiah, what's going on? How are you doing?
How you doing?
Man.
Everybody doing? Shout out to the chat. Yeah, some good topics here. Be here about an hour, so yeah, let's get it going.
All right, cool. All right. Hey, he's ready. He just wants to get in because you want to dip in and dip out. Hey, Craig, I got a quick question. I saw a survey. The number one profession where you find the most females cheat on their husband are nurses. Why you be listen? No. Why you be dipping in the Kool-Aid, Craig?
Well, you know,
why you listen, man? Listen,
people who make more than them.
Nah, so. listen, mind your business, man. Leave the wives alone. The Chocolate Thunder is in jail, all right? He's doing he's doing double life. He's not in the hospital. Okay?
That's correct.
I just found that interesting, but it does make sense. Like, nurses are surrounded and work with extremely successful people.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you. These doctors drive cars that cost more than our houses. You know, they'll say stuff like that. So one of them just bought a guy. I know he just bought a McLaren. It just got delivered to him Saturday. They delivered it to him on Saturday.
El Nini said my girlfriend's a nurse, bro. She better work like in the halfway house or like a drug addicted. Like yo, make sure I'm telling you, bro. Have her work in the most shittiest, broke down, like nursing home or something. Don't do it, bro. That shit is crazy. That's the number one profession, at least here in America, the number one profession where female, cheat the most and are nurses. That's crazy. Extreme, what do you think about that shit, bro?
I don't even know how to process that because okay, I understand that you are surrounded by people that are wealthy, but I'm like, what about banks? There's so many corporations where, I don't know. Maybe it's the appeal of someone saving a life. Maybe that could be too. This surgeon is skilled and
the guy's like,
imagine, I get to see him work.
Imagine what these fingers can do.
Exactly. Because I guess when you are in a bank or something, you don't really see the work. Even if it's like the CEO, like he's just sitting in front of a desktop, he's taking calls, but you don't get to see it in action, And then it's like, well, plumbers and mechanics usually don't have like female assistants like nurses. Sure. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the appeal. You're like, I can see your work. Because it is kind of, it is one of the things that they say is kind of attractive, like seeing your partner at their job. Like if they're like a presenter or an artist or a singer, if you see them paint, you're like, oh, that's a turn on because you're good at what you do. So
yeah,
maybe that's it.
That's interesting.
Mm.
Maybe, maybe, a doctor be like, listen, if I have the ability to find the syphilitic vein, I can find your clitoris. Think about it.
It's like I can find the A spot, the G spot.
I can find. I know all the spots.
I know all your spots.
These fingers are worth $500,000 a month. Like it's a sales pitch, bro. Like, man, that shit is crazy, bro. Bro, thank you. Yo, if my wife was a nurse and I saw that, I'd be like, yo, babe, it's time to find a new profession. Wrap that shit up. Yeah. Switch your career. You're gonna be a lawyer. Let's go. Like, oh snap. My man Liquid Data. Yo, shout out to Liquid Data. Member for 13 months. He said nurses be thick in scrubs as long as we tracking. Oh snap! Yo, I ain't gonna lie. You ever seen them nurses dancing TikTok? I'm like, wait a minute. Where are all these nurses? This generation, two things: nurses and teachers. How come I couldn't have that while I was going through school? My nurses and teachers was old as fuck. Like, yo, it felt like every teacher I had was on their last year of tenure, about to retire. Every single one, old as shit. Like crazy old, like old, like World War II, like they served in World War II old. I'm like, yo, and now I see obviously it's a cycle of life, right? They gotta retire and new blood comes in, so the students are enjoying the new blood. Now these teachers in 30 years are gonna be old, and so I guess when I was born, I hit the pipeline where they're old, and then end of
the cycle.
Yo, exactly. I was like, wow, that like I didn't even think a young teacher even existed. Like, all of them are old across the board. I was like, I never seen a young teacher ever. I'm like, now when I'm seeing these young ass teachers, I'm like, hey, yo. And then the way they dress, I'm like, hey, yo. And then you got 15-year-old boys. And then you got 15-year-old.
To pay off your student loan, if you start teaching, if you teach for 8 straight years, they will more than likely pay off your student loan or forgive it because you're providing a service.
Yeah.
So that's why you're seeing a lot of young Dick teachers.
I'm saying. And
Hey,
listen, say what you want.
You're like the guy. You're like the guy that was born 20 years before the Berlin Wall fell. Like your entire.
I know.
entire
You're like
teenage
it's
life,
just
you could have
it's
been-
just not
You could
fair.
have been getting up to no good.
It's just not fair. It's just not
It's
right.
not fair.
You
It's
know what I'm
not-
saying?
it's not
You
fair,
know, the
man.
wall was up for me. It wasn't up for you. I know what you
Exactly,
mean, right?
exactly.
You know? Oh man. Oh, shout out to JRo49. Thank you so much for the super chat. He got the bird and said thumbs up. You know what I'm just saying? And then I see this. Now listen, I get it. A 16-year-old boy is still a boy. Is sick that a 31. Like, guys and girls are different. I get it. You know, if I was a 16-year-old boy and I had a hot teacher at 28, I would smash. I certainly would not rat them out. What is wrong with them? I would be like, nope, she ain't doing it. I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Did your teacher sleep with you? Me? Look. Do I look like the type of guy?
The students think she's the greatest teacher in the world.
I'd be like, I would be like, I can't even. I would lie. I would be like, I can't even get a freshman to say yes to me. You think a teacher like her's gonna give me some ass? Like what? I can't even get a date with a freshman, and I'm a junior. Like no way. I'd be like, I got you, girl. Nothing. Then 2 minutes later, you know, hey, I'm pregnant. Hey, Hey, I'm a kid. I'm a kid. Don't know what she's talking about. Like, yo, it's crazy the stuff I see. And I'm like, yo, this world is weird. Like, I know it's unbalanced. I don't know what's happening. Hey, listen, I firmly believe we are just decades away from God blowing the trumpets. He's got to be sick of this shit. He's like, you know what? Break open the seal. Send the 4 horsemen. I'm done.
They'll land and say grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah,
exactly.
you in my voice.
Yeah.
He's gonna use my voice. Grand opening, grand closing. Just be like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, Extreme Man, what you been up to?
Yo, I have started a new game. I started playing.
That's
Nier
always a good thing.
Automata.
Oh, I saw that on your Twitter. I saw that. That's a good game. That's a good game.
Yeah. It's Have you played it?
Yes, I beat it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Listen, it needs a remake. I know that everybody is always like, "Oh my
Ah,
god,
here we go. Pay the
Just
$70.
6 years ago. That game needs a remake bad. Like, I'm sorry. When you look at some of those textures, when you look at the lighting engine, when you look at everything, like Forspoken looks better than this.
You know, don't
when it was,
change.
like,
I need you to
brand
be
new.
that guy. Every podcast, when they talk about a game, I need you to say whether it deserves a remake or not. Like that game, yes,
Exactly.
it deserves a remake. Yes,
I'll tell you.
remake that. Remake it. In fact, remake
First
it
of
for the
all,
PS5 and remake it for the PS5 Pro.
No. Remake it on the PS5. Do it again. Do it better this time.
Oh yeah.
Do it better.
Oh, remake it and then remake it and then try 2. Try the second time.
Exactly. Do a point 2. Listen,
And pay another $70.
You know what they can do? They can
What?
do it like Persona 5. Remember? Because Persona 5.
Oh,
is exactly
Royal.
what
Yeah,
happened. They did
PS5.
Persona
Yeah.
5 and Persona 5 Royal, and they were like, "You're paying full price." Like,
And
they
nobody
added a
said
chapter.
anything because they just added like a chapter.
Imagine if Sony did that. They were like, "Oh yeah, the DLC is at the end of the game. You have to play the whole game again. No save transfers." Because we made 1 or 2 changes along the line. You start again a 150-hour journey. You pay us full price. And then when they bring you to PS5, they ask you for the full price again.
Oh man, this is a shady thing, man.
So when people are like, "Oh my god, they're gonna charge for a director's cut for $30," I'm like, nah. Atlas has shown me the way. Pay for your games.
Pay for your games, man.
Pay for it. Listen, if you're a Persona 5 fan on is it PS3? Like, I think it's a PS3 game.
No. Persona 5 was it's a PS3 and PS4 game.
Okay, yeah.
They made it for
fair
PS3
enough.
and
Did they
PS4.
give you the cross buy? Because I wasn't there at that early. Because
to be
I
honest,
will fully see Atlas charging for the PS3 version, the PS4 version, the PS4 Royal version, and now the PS5 version. So, every single time, $60. They're like, you're paying for this.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea because I don't pay attention to anything PS3. The moment I see the words PS3, I just block it out.
Yep.
It's like
So-
I'm like nope.
Anyways, Nier Automata is a fantastic game. The gameplay is wonderful, but the visuals, they need help. they need the Lord's help. They need the Decima Engine's help. Like, Sony's got to start licensing some of the close partners.
They
They're
are.
gonna give them some decimal. Yeah, they're gonna give them some decimal help. Because I was just every time I play that game, I'm like, man, if this was in the Horizon Forbidden West engine, this would be the best thing ever. So, yeah. But anyways, we're gamers. We play the game, and the game is fantastic. I'm going to play it. I'm going to do all of the runs. Do the first. People call them routes, like route A, route B, route C. I'll do them all. This is a great game, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Good to hear you. Good to hear from you. Let's see. Okay, it's just so far as 3. Hey, what's up with the quick chit chat? What's up with the rebranding of Twitter to X? Like,
I think he's obsessed with X. It's
freaking weird.
That's the only thing I heard.
It's freaking weird.
Yeah, but it's Elon Musk. Like, weird is expected.
Like,
did you see what he's named his child? Like a whole human being?
No, what did he name his child?
Tyrone.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I can't even tell you. Okay, you know what? Just Google it real quick. You'll see. Just put in Elon Musk child name.
I'm afraid because I don't want to get flagged.
No. It's not anything that will get you flagged. It will just flag your brain.
I'll say it's not gonna get that.
But it starts with X. It starts with X.
Xavier? Xavier?
Dude, if it was Xavier, what would I tell you to?
I'm just all right. Elon Musk child.
I'll put it in the chat as well.
Name Elon Musk child's. Let's see. Elon Musk. This is Elon Musk child's name. Let's see. It's how to pronounce. What is Jahi? What is that? Independent. How to pronounce the name of Elon Musk? Zahi.
Apparently, it's XA12. Apparently, according to the Washington Post.
Elon Musk, his girlfriend's birthday, baby, on May 2020, a few hours away. When Eli revealed his son, Musk tweeted AXIEI12 Musk. At first, it was not clear if Musk was joking about the name or if it turned out he was being serious. After the name was announced, the names can only use the 27 one, according to him. Grimes then confirmed that they changed the name to Zahia. Roman numerals looks better. Explaining the meaning behind the name, Grimes said X stands for the unknown variable. Meanwhile, IAE is Elven spelling of AI. So XAI, which is shorthand for artificial intelligence, and the word for love in several languages, such as Japanese. A12, precursor to SR-17, our favorite aircraft. No weapons, no defense, just speed. Great in battle, but not by she added. The A in the name also represents Archangel, the title of a song by Bert. So his name is XAI
A12.
A12A? What? XIA A12? Yo, I would be so mad if I was this goddamn kid.
You see?
I swear to God, I would be so goddamn mad.
Human being.
I would be so goddamn mad, bro. I would be so angry, bro. I would be confused. Like, am I your son or a goddamn product? I would be so goddamn mad. Like, Dad, I don't know if I'm your son or a goddamn product from your Tesla factory. Like, what do I tell you? Hey, what's your name?
He'll be like, same thing.
Oh my God, like, you can't make this shit up. Like, yo, bro, you got too much money, Dad. Like, god damn, you need to be poor for a year so you could live back to reality. Yo,
no, you know what I've heard? This is what happens when your people haven't been colonized. Like, I'm sorry, white people need some colonization because you guys sometimes you be crazy out there. Like, but yeah, go ahead.
Golly, bro. I'll tell you, I'll be so mad as soon as
I'm driving towards a tornado.
You know, see, I'd say, hey, that's a job, right? I guess I don't know. That's not something I'm applying for. I'm like, you want me to what? You want me to do what? To it, not away.
Not away. Yeah, you supposed to get closer. Yeah, I'll let me think about that.
Don't we got drones now and shit? Like, this ain't 1980s. We got drones now. We could just fly the motherfucker there. Like, we don't have to personally witness this shit. Like, no, we gotta personally witness. Yes, but how are we gonna testify? Because we're dead. How do we get back? What's the point of personally witnessing something if we can't come back? Yo, but anyway, that's just crazy. I would be like 18 years old. I'll be like, yeah, I'm changing my name. And they're gonna be like, all right, from AEIEIO 12. What's your name? John. Just middle name? No middle name. Just John.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Is it the type of guy that would be like, listen, my money is going to XAIH12. So if you want this,
it's just John.
You better keep it.
That you're talking to John. Not JNAHI. No, just plain old JOHN. Just not even Johnny. Not even Johnny. That's too many.
Identify as a John.
It'd be like not even Johnny. That's too many letters. Just John. That's it. Simple, easy. John. If you want a nickname,
you know what?
If you really want to give me a nickname, Joe. Even say that's it. Joe.
Listen, I will just turn into the letter J.
Oof.
I'll be like this.
The meta. We're just done.
Just the letter. It's like you like letters so much, you can assign whatever meaning that. Just J. All right. You get J.
We got super chat from
middle name X.
Look, I like this name. We got a super chat from Anglo Jackson. Is it me or is Bethesda hype so 7th or last gen ago? I don't know. I mean, I guess we just have to see. I mean, like the Spider-Man hype is through the roof. They just haven't given us new footage, man. I'm afraid Extreme's gonna be right. You know what? This is what I'm afraid of with Starfield. This is what I'm afraid of. That the game is purposely more designed on populating the planets. Because people are already asking for DLC to put life on the planets. Because apparently only 10% of the planets have life. That means there's like 900 planets. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
And I'm thinking
they went with NASA. No, they went with NASA. NASA said there's maybe 10%. And you have to get a Goldilocks zone.
That's such a bullshit excuse.
Well, they're trying to be accurate to what.
No.
The guy has super. No, hold on. No,
first of all, there is no way the universe has 10% of life. Not even close.
Man, but not even then.
That's their estimate.
No, but not even. No, but even then.
No, 10% is way too high.
None of that.
Look, you will argue with Oppenheimer.
Listen, none of that. Listen, none of that matters. None of that matters.
She didn't have the internet. Like he didn't have the internet.
Listen, none of that mattered. None of that matters because the guy has superpowers. So you already threw off the realism. So he's able to like telekinesis people out the way. So throw that bullshit out the window about trying to be realistic. You already threw that shit out the window. That's already God. But what I'm afraid is they try to lean more towards the population building, which means they're gonna sell materials and items and all this stuff that you can buy, and that's the intent of the game. And my god, I hate.
You're gonna make your own fun.
I hate that.
You're gonna make your own. It's gonna be a sandbox.
I'm not into that Minecraft shit. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just not into that. And Fallout and Elder Scrolls is not about that life. Fallout and Elder Scrolls is a character building, story driven game. But
let's talk about it just for a little bit.
Please don't fuck that up.
Just for a little bit.
What?
100 planets with life. You guys know that half of that is just going to be procedurally generated wildlife, right? Like that's not going to be like life in the most technical sense. Like this is an organic form. He'll be like, oh, there's this cube that floats and it can talk to you. Life.
Yeah, I got it.
Like this isn't going to be like some Horizon Forbidden West looking thing where you just walk through and you see machines doing something. You see people settling camps. That's not what it's going to be about.
Or what they're gonna do is you go to all these planets. But it's the same type of people that's there. It's nothing but humans.
Exactly.
But it's humans from this.
Have like the most rudimentary like scheduling. It'll be like this guy picks up this crate and then he brings it over there. Then he picks it up 2 seconds later and brings it over there.
Oh, he's part of this faction. But no, these are different humans from a different faction. Oh no! These humans are from the mercenary corps, and it's like
these guys were red. Those guys were blue.
Yeah, yes.
Then, like you said, there'll be 4 cities. There'll be 4 cities.
I know Porter Rock
develop things.
Yeah, Porter Rock, you're gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
But you don't have to defend it along the way. You don't have to pretend that.
I'm gonna be
literally just lie to us, being like NASA told them there's 10% life. There is no way there's 10% life in the universe. If there was, do you know how many planets we would have found that could support life? Just support it, not even have it. Just support life.
Well, then again,
Earth is literally Earth is literally the only planet in like billions of light years that can support our life form.
But then again, with supposedly the universe forever expanding, can you really lock down a percentage when the number just doesn't stop?
No, what I'm saying is just that, statistically wise, right? No matter how much the universe expands, the little Goldilocks that we need for organic life forms to take shape on the planet is so small that you have better luck playing the lottery and winning like 5 times in a row. Like that's literally like how the universe develops. So we need a very specific set of things to happen. What is it like if our Earth had been bombarded by all of the asteroids that hit the moon along the way, we wouldn't be a thing. Like it doesn't just take one planet forming, it takes like a whole bunch of things happening on a galactic scale for Earth to exist. So when they're like, oh yeah, Earth 2 candidate, they're like, oh yeah, that would take us like 3 trillion years to get there. Yay.
Right. Anglo Jackson says it's gonna be Starfield of Thieves. Make your fun. Oh man, I'm not feeling that. I hope it's not that, man.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what it is. But I am reading an article here in Forbes about how they use
don't do that.
NASA We Think formula. So but we'll see. They're just trying to follow a speculative model that with a Goldilocks zone. Then you have to have a certain kind of sun, and then we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It comes out in what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. So we'll see exactly what they're gunning for.
I just want to reiterate that this is going to be pure garbage. And also, if you were going to go for the realistic route, you know what I want? I want real physics-based gameplay. Like I want it so that
sandwiches.
When you're on a low gravity
There's sandwiches. There's sandwiches. Lots of sandwiches.
Like for me, when people are like, "Oh yeah, it's more realistic," I'm like, "Okay, so on a low gravity planet, when I jump, does that mean that I jump higher? When I use my jetpack, does it use less fuel? You know, like do I actually have interactivity in a real physics-based way?"
This game's not being made by Naughty Dog or Sony's first party.
Yeah,
you're asking way too much. You're asking way too much from Microsoft right now.
No. Because they were like, remember they were like, listen, in a low gravity field, when you shoot kinetic-based weapons, it pushes you backwards. Then I'm like, okay, so you put one element in there. Did you pull the rest of them?
Did you? Oh, you half-assed it. You forgot to jump.
Because you're saying that, in this one zone, it behaves this way. I'm like, that's not impressive unless you make it basically like the Portal 2 or the Half-Life level of simulation. Okay. Like, when I throw my sandwich and it literally glides. Like there should be like, if you throw your sandwich at the beginning of the level, it would just go and orbit around the entire planet.
That would be funny.
Right?
Oh, and that would be pretty cool if they pulled that off. That would be funny. Charles Hawk. Let me do this. He goes, I was at Comic-Con and saw the Spider-Man 2 trailer. We were out drinking in the gas lamp after, and everyone was talking about Spider-Man. I can't imagine, man. The gas lamp, I've been there. I'm about 40 minutes away. Oh, my God. That place is...
Well, they showed that trailer at the movie theater. I was like, man, that really does look really good.
It's big.
And they showed the Gran Turismo movie trailer as well, like back to back.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
The Gran Turismo movie. Well, I'm just saying they showed them back to back, right? But that game looks really good as well.
It's just and then the tweets. Apparently, I think his name is James Stevenson. I hope I got his name right.
Yeah.
He keeps saying that the graphics, the graphics are gonna still get better. So what we've seen so far, I'm like, wow, they still have time to improve the graphics. That shit is bananas. That is,
Actually, the thing is, like, trailers are made usually like 2 or 3 months in advance because you need like a stable build and people keep working, right? Mm-hmm, and then Sony will hold it for an indefinite amount of time until they think it's perfect. So whenever you see a trailer, you always need to know that that's older. 2 or 3 months old. Yeah. So, I'm not surprised. I don't think he's saying that things are going to get better, like that making it better still to this day necessarily. Yeah. But he's just saying
it's already improved from what they saw.
That build. Exactly. So what you'll see will be better because of the nature of things.
Nice. Okay. So now let's segue into the conversation. We got, I'm going to put this on the screen right here. Let me play this little video.
Where we launched all the game streaming technology for Sony's
Y'all can hear that?
And now, most recently, I was
at
Blizzard Entertainment, and they're esports division. So this is actually my first AAA
Chat, you hear that?
Project now.
Yeah, I can hear
project
some
director here on
woman,
an unannounced project.
women.
So
I
am very excited to be
No, I want to make sure.
actually
Yeah,
making
the woman
games
talking.
now.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can hear that. Yeah.
Okay,
Guys,
good,
if you
good.
can-
All right. Let me see.
I worked on PlayStation Now, where we launched all the game streaming technology for Sony's Backbone, and now most recently I was at Blizzard Entertainment in their esports division. So this is actually my first AAA game project now. I'm the project director here on an unannounced project, so I am very excited to be actually making the games now.
Amazing. Guys, if you can, I know we're not going to be able to talk really specifically about the projects you're working on, but if you can mention what projects you're working on and what you like most about what you're doing currently. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, so I'm working on an unannounced title, so I can't really talk a lot
That's
about
fine.
it, but I will say that, I mean, just to kind of echo some of the things that I've also heard, like I've been an Insomniac for almost a year now. My 1-year anniversary is coming up in November, so I'm really excited about that. I hit my 5-year anniversary. It's Sony as a whole, and I will just say, like, it feels really good to be back home to Sony. I feel like they really invest in their employees, and they invest in our education, they invest in our well-being, they invest in our growth, and so I've found a lot of really amazing support infrastructure. I've seen a lot of really interesting projects. The tech that we get to touch and get to experiment with and play with is just awesome, so I'm having a blast even if I can't talk about it.
Amazing. Good.
Man, you hear that? You hear what she said? That's incredible. That you hear. Besides, we're gonna go into the main topic of the AAA, but hear how she's so enthusiastic being back at Sony, and like you hear like what she's saying, how they invest in the education, in taking care of their people. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the people who work, and Sony looks at them as a resource. And the one part like that she says they invest in their education, meaning they're finding ways to make them smarter, better, more proficient developers. And we wonder why these Sony games are of the quality that they are. That's just incredible. What do you think about her saying? We'll start with you, Craig, because I know you only here for a little bit. What are your thoughts on her response being back at Sony after a year, and how she's just so happy to be back on the Sony Studios?
This sounds like she had a good experience, and or may have friends there, or good, really good friends there. But you always want to work in a stable, nurturing environment. Not an environment where you feel like somebody's over your shoulder. The studio could have given her, a better chance to grow, which is always good when you're trying to learn different skills. And I remember David Jaffe has really made a big time deal. At least the first couple years I heard him on the internet talking about the management at Sony is just a lot better, than when he worked and then other places, and he's talked to multiple people. So it goes kind of hand in glove with what other people have been saying about Sony Studios. Not that they don't have their challenges, I'm sure they do, but overall it's a quality work environment, and they support their employees.
All right. Extreme, what do you think? Or
Guys,
thoughts?
listen, this is everything. Not only is it that we get to have the, kind of like the best industry standard games, but it's also the fact that when you hear about these stories, I think you should give people pause when they say, Sony should acquire Square Enix, Sony should acquire this, Sony should acquire that. Because as Sean Layden said on the What's Up PlayStation podcast, the hardest part of an acquisition isn't the money, it's the actual integration of talent into your culture, right? Into your company culture. Because let's say that the developer at Square Enix doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel heard, doesn't feel invested in the way that developers at Sony already do, then it can be hard to translate that new sense, of kind of like growth and pushing yourself and breaking beyond your boundaries into like a whole group of, like, let's say 11,000 more people or whatever. So that's why I think that as much as people see Sony as deviating from the organic growth with Bungie, I still think that at the core, when you look at studios like Housemarque, you imagine that those guys are undergoing the same process. You imagine that they are also, just being taught to be not only better studio managers, but better developers, and they have that kind of like talk with other studios at Sony so that you kind of build, up your skill set and everything like that. So listen, Sony gets to make us the best games because they invest in their people. So when you pay for that extra $10, that they charge you this generation, know that part of that is going towards making things like this happen. Because when you hear just a tiny bit of her career, she used to work, in esports, she used to work at other places, and then now she's back at Sony, and now she's the project director. That sounds like a big jump in, like, okay, you were working around games a lot, but now you get to make your own game in a managerial role. That seems like, oh yeah, that's definitely a promotion. So great for her. Sounds great. I can't wait to see what it is. But yeah, so I just want people to just cool it with the whole acquisition talk, because essentially that's what we want. We want a Housemarque to become the Naughty Dog. We want the Naughty Dog journey to happen with every single one of Sony studios, and you can't do that kind of like at scale. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me knock out the super chat. We got Gamer Live Studio with the $5 super chat. Oh, here we go. He want a trash talk for $5. He says Potato Rock 77 capping for a dev with trash gameplay that Xbox fans are losing sleep over. So you are losing sleep over this. Yeah, like, so you admit it. All right? Or did you meant to say are not losing sleep over? Laugh out, clown. Ask Jim Ryan for a remake, Killzone, not trash dev. He bad.
Is this quantum error he's talking about?
Yeah, he's talking. Yeah, they salty, boy.
I was wondering, because I'm like, who mentioned that game? Like, no one here has.
Oh, but damn, he upset, man. Listen, Gamer Life. Listen, it's not my fault. It's not Extreme's fault. It's not Craig's fault. It is no one's fault other than Microsoft, because they made the trash ass consoles. They thought this was a good idea. They thought that however they designed, they had it all figured out. They messed up. And now you're stuck with it.
Jim Ryan did say they considered it, but they thought it would be too difficult on the devs to have to split trying to make different versions. So, it is what it is. All we're targeted 30 frames.
Yeah, all we're doing is making fun of Microsoft's fuck up. You mad at me? I didn't take your $500. He mad at me. You literally calling me.
Listen for fight. They're just looking to fight. They're just pissed.
He calling me. Listen, he calling me Potato Rock while Phil Spencer just bought his Maserati with your $500 over a trash ass console, and you're mad at me? I ain't driving no Maserati with your money. Phil is. What are you mad at me for? I didn't make the shit. I'm making fun of it, but I am not the source of your pain. You gotta look at the people. Look at the box. Whose name is on the box? It does not say Potato Rock. I promise you. You are not seeing the fine print Potato Rock. Nothing. I had nothing to do with that abortion. I had nothing to do with that tragedy. That's all on them, man. I got mad at me for.
I thought they were going to target 1440p 60. They didn't need no ray tracing. They could have went like 6.7 Navi T-flops, and they would have been RDNA 2. They would have gotten 1440p 60 on everything, and then 1080p open frame on the little whatever the potato. That would have been fine, but that's not. Again, that was a decision they made, and it is what it is. And Porter Rock's right; they're just making fun of a bad decision.
Listen, you need to go to the RDX podcast, spend the $5 super chat there, and say make Xbox consoles great again. That's what you need to do. Anyway. But hey, so let's talk about the game. So
what game?
No, I mean not the game itself, but the fact that Insomniac is, man, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot, and now they got a AAA multiplayer. Now Zuby Tech did say that they did have it. Now I like Zuby Tech, right? Just to preface this,
I do too.
Zuby Tech is not an insider. He doesn't do that. What he does is this is what he does. He likes to go to LinkedIn and he likes to sift through all the people that work at the company, right? Sound engineers,
time on his hands.
I mean, whatever. Hey, everybody has a hobby, right? He looks
That's
through,
true. Yeah.
and over there, you see more and more professional industry when they do their social media. They're doing it more on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a bit more controlled, more professional. You don't have the nonsense that you do and have on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. So if you see more and more are talking about what they're doing at LinkedIn as compared to Twitter or Instagram, whatever. So you see sound engineers, they'll put on their profile currently working on a AAA game, you know, as a sound engineer. And the company they work for is Sony or Santa Monica or Insomniac or Gorilla. So then obviously you put 2 and 2 together. You work for Gorilla, you're a sound engineer, and you're publicly telling people you're working on a AAA game. Therefore, Gorilla's working on a AAA game. That's what Zubitech does. He does his research into those things, and if any of them put down their latest project, hey, you're an artist, you're an illustrator, you're a voice actor, whatever. So, voice actor, working for Sony, AAA game. The studio's making a AAA game. That's all he does. He doesn't do inside stuff. So he already said that Insomniac was working on a multiplayer, and he saw multiple profiles because of that. One of them being a multiplayer designer that works in Insomniac saying that he's working on a AAA game. So, poof, multiplayer game, right? So this just further confirms it, whatever. So he does a really good job of using little tiny puzzles that he's able to find, connect them, and boom, this is the picture. So he does. That's why I like Zubitech when he says something is more or less legit, because he actually does the research and he uses sources that you don't think of, right? So I'm like, man, these guys are doing Spider-Man. Like, think about it. They've done Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2. They announced Wolverine, and they're working on a AAA multiplayer. Like, Sony got the most bang for their buck out of this studio, more than I think than any studio. Like, I haven't seen a studio pump out this much content or work on this much project since like the PS2, PS3 days. This is how it used to be. Like, we're praising them now, but remember back then, this was normal. Studios used to make 3 or 4 games per generation during the PS2 game. Now, obviously, because it's more challenging, better graphics, longer dev cycle, you see less and less of it, right? But the fact that Insomniac is able to, like, you know, think about it. With the PS5 launching, they've done Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2. Then they could potentially release these next. Well, obviously Wolverine's coming, so that's 4. And it is multiplayer. They have technically released 5 games in a generation, which is what I want. It's a
big studio. I think we got to remember how big that studio is. But they did integrate well in, because they were on that 2.5-year clock with Spider-Man. So and that was an audition. And for everybody, because Insomniac had stated their case publicly, they wanted to stay independent, but they said they had such an easy time working with Sony. Sony didn't care what they were doing. They just wanted them to make a quality game. And Layton stressed that when they had those meetings. Like, we want to try to add this. Well, you thinking to make the game better? They would say yes. Okay, well, then go ahead and do it. And this will call us in when you're ready to show us what you're working on. And Insomniac didn't expect that. They said that publicly. They thought they would be kind of breathing down their necks, and that's the game turned out well. But I think people need to understand Insomniac is not a small place. They have a huge studio.
I think they got 2. They have one. They have one in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then I think in Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. So I think they have 2 major studios. One on the East Coast I think it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think they're in Raleigh, North Carolina.
With Sony, yeah, it may be, but remember, if they reach a point where Sony may have a studio open, they will just send people in, or they will send devs there to go help them work on their stuff. They got access to all of Sony's stuff. They got access to it. So we were. I mean, you're probably going to talk about that Team Kill, whatever it is, or that game that's coming out. How they got access to Sony and working with PS5 and stuff like that. So, and then you go back to what David Jaffe said. Like I said earlier, they're for some reason they're able to work very well with these developers. And,
So Mike Santos in it says Burbank, California, and in Durham. Yeah, Durham, North Carolina is like Raleigh, Durham area. All right. We got CB3 says, man, y'all think them bots are in their feelings now? Wait until Spider-Man 2 drops, P-Rock. They just don't know what's in store. Laughing my ass off. I saw they showed an image, and somebody showed an image in the background. Once again, they made sure the image had the pictures of the puddles, and the puddles had ray trace reflections. Oh my god,
that is true. Somebody picked that out.
I love it. I love it. Insomniac's so goddamn petty. They are so goddamn petty. They are so petty, and I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely
I don't
love
know
it. You
why
want
they're
puddles?
not excited.
God,
I don't know why they're not as excited for Starfield. They should be excited for that, even though it's a walking simulator. So that's what it is. They don't have any vehicles on the planet, and they have predetermined places for you to land, which I've said before is trash. Yeah, I should be able to land anywhere I want, but that's not what they built. So I don't know why they're not excited for it. And Spider-Man's going to be a strong game. Everybody's talking about it.
That's the limited power of the X.
I sent you something in the DMs on Twitter.
Okay.
Let me see. It just helped make the point I want to make.
All right, let me put it up. Let me get it. Uh-oh. Listen, I better not get flagged by the FBI, bro.
I only sent you dangerous product, man. Okay. Only dangerous stuff.
Listen. I know how you're. You guys live in hell's sandbox. All right. What's this? All right. All right. What's your point you're gonna make?
Yo, the point is this, guys. When you look at the release timeline of Ratchet and Clank, just Ratchet and Clank alone, Insomniac has always been the ones, like you said, in the PS2, PS3 era, to kind of just be that workshop. So this is nothing.
Damn, that's a lot of Ratchet and Clank.
One of my favorite franchises.
Yeah, they Ratchet and Clank the shit out of that franchise.
Exactly. They ratcheted it up. So, like the break between the Ratchet and Clank PS4 and Rift Apart has actually been by far the longest. So what I think is Insomniac is doing what happens when you take a studio that is already talented and already has great focus, and then you just circle them with money, advertisement, and kind of like technological help. So they're able to do this. I hope that they keep doing it. Now, I don't really know what you say about the multiplayer project, because so far we know nothing other than it will feature some kind of multiplayer. So, a lot of people, I think Insomnia made Resistance, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was good. The multiplayer was good.
I missed out on that one. I don't know if they will go back for that. But I think them making a shooter will be exciting. Just to break away from the mold that they've kind of set themselves in with the Spider-Man games, because they are such a talented studio that it is good to see them doing something altogether different. At the same time, I don't think it has to be Resistance, because a lot of people, they look at older franchises and they reminisce and they have nostalgia, but it's like, listen, those franchises kind of died for a reason. Like, let's not beat around the bush. And some of those should be brought back, but most of them should stay dead. I don't know if Resistance is one of those franchises that should remain dormant, but at the same time, I don't think that just because a person made a shooter game that had a particular name and a particular style, I don't think that they have to be held to that forever, basically. Yeah. So if they want to break away from that, absolutely fine. But it might not be a shooter altogether, and it might be, it might be like the next Rocket League for all we know. So who knows?
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Let me put that right back there. But hey, that's a great point. So let me ask you guys this, all right? Even though, so even though Insomniac released Spider-Man 2, right? Ratchet and Clank, single player, right? And Wolverine's coming up next, another single player. So that's 4 single player game. There are PlayStation fans that are upset that the next project is multiplayer and it's like it's the end of the world. Do you feel that's unfair? No, think about it. Do you feel that it's fair or that it's unfair, given the fact that they released 4 single player games, 1 multiplayer game is not going to be the end of the world, right? It's like, oh my god, a multiplayer game, by then it's over. I'm like, bro, we just did 4, and one of them's not even out yet, which is Wolverine. We just want to try another thing on another avenue and maybe gain more fans. You know what I'm saying? So what? I'll start with Extreme, right? Because I know you're not the big multiplayer guy. Do you think it's unfair? You think PlayStation fans are just being ridiculous? Or you think it's too early to tell?
I am a big multiplayer fan. It's just that multiplayer games have been kind of trash. Okay, let's be honest.
Fair enough.
I played nearly 700 hours of Bad Company 2. Like, I love multiplayer games.
Oh, okay.
It's just that they're shit. Like, Battlefield was my jam. Then we got to Battlefield 4. And then Battlefield, and then it just kind of went downhill. You
Okay.
know, every single release, it will be like a year before the game is even good. Then we have Battlefield 2042, which brought in operators. That is not what a Battlefield game is about. Like, I'm sorry, not my Battlefield. Yeah, no, multiplayer games are just trash. You know, I
Okay.
put 500 hours into World Company because that's been like the only one that I found is like a mix of interesting gameplay. Because I don't like the Call of Duty twitch shooter kind of thing. That's on my jam. So I've never been able to find a home in those style of games.
Okay.
I tried Apex Legends, but I found that it was so heavily team based that playing by myself was um a huge problem.
Got
You
it.
just couldn't
Yeah.
play that game with randoms, which is fair enough. And
Yeah.
I just don't have a squad at the moment that I can play with every night. So yeah, no, huge multiplayer guy. Absolutely, they should get to
Okay.
make multiplayer games. I
Okay.
fully support PlayStation's effort to make multiplayer games. As you know, I believe that live service games are mostly suck, except for the ones that don't. And I truly hope that the ones from Sony are the ones that don't suck. you know.
Okay. I like the way you
So,
say it.
yeah,
I like
want
that.
more multiplayer games. You know.
I like the way you say it. Live service games suck, except for the ones that don't, which is not many. I know what you
It's
mean.
not at all. Like,
It's
let's
not
be
many.
honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Not
the
at
ones
all.
that don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So and also I listen. Creators do not have to justify shit to you. Okay, it's not because they make 4 games that are single player that they now get to make a multiplayer game. No, you don't get to tell a creator what to do. You get to tell a creator whether or not you will support that with your money and your time, but you don't get to decide and dictate whether they should make this type of project or that type of project. That's that. Otherwise, you make your own game, like you be your own creator, and then you see how it feels like you have someone else tell you what to do. So studios do not have to justify anything to us. If they want to make a remake, they are justified in doing so. If they want to make a multiplayer game, even though they're not known for multiplayer, they're justified in doing so. If a multiplayer studio wants to make a single player game, they're justified in doing so. They never have to check in with us as to what we think because we are not the game developers and we should just let game developers develop games. Like it's not a development by committee with the audience. If you just don't support it, then don't buy it and don't complain to the people that do support it and that do want it. So yeah, I absolutely agree with Broken Games. He said that Sony charges us for online multiplayer. It is their responsibility to give us multiplayer games, like great epic multiplayer games that are at the caliber of the single player stuff. And I fully agree and I fully support that.
Yes.
Because
Yeah. He did make it. That's a great point. Like I couldn't knock him when he said that. I'm like, hey, he said like we got more multiplayer games for Sony when it was free than we are getting when they're charging us. And I was like,
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, he's actually right. Like,
No,
right.
and the thing is, I enjoy
it's really hard to argue.
Sony PlayStation's multiplayer experiences, and the ones that I missed out on always sounded interesting to me. Like I missed out on Helldivers, but I'm looking forward to Helldivers too. I missed out on, I think, was it SOCOM and some of the
SOCOM.
mag.
Oh man, PS2
I missed out on a few of
SOCOM.
those.
Woo!
Because the thing is, listen,
SOCOM
Australia
and
has been
SOCOM
dog shit
2?
for decades.
Oh really?
Like, trying to
but
play
you're
certain games multiplayer,
but you're isolated island all the way in the Pacific, so yeah, it's not so easy.
Dude, it was terrible. So investing in those games never really felt like a safe bet. So I missed out on a lot of those PS3 multiplayer gems, and I absolutely want at least a few of those to be brought back. But I'm also happy for like a new wave of games to come. I haven't been convinced by Fair Games and Concord because they didn't show anything.
Yeah.
So they still have to kind of like pass them the litmus test as to whether or not these are going to be good multiplayer live service experiences. But absolutely, when I heard that they were making 12 of them, I'm like, great. Hopefully, I can find 1 or 2 because that's the thing about live services, right? You're not supposed to play 6 of them at a time. You're supposed to find like 1 or 2 as your cornerstone, and then just invest in that. So. Yeah, I absolutely want it. They should absolutely do it. And anybody that complains about it, fuck you. And you can fuck right off.
Okay. All right. Strong Jawline Herman with the $2 super that he says, I need another 80-hour Ratchet and Clank ASAP. It might be a little bit. It might be a little bit. Yeah, it's a great franchise. Might be a little bit. All right. Okay, so interesting. Hey, one thing for sure is, hey, Sony, my God, they really knocked it out the park getting Insomniac as a first party. Insomniac's just like holding PlayStation like this. Like anytime you want to join in, boys, Gorilla. Like, you're going to do so much with that redhead. Come on, Naughty Dog. The hell you waiting for? Too busy making shows, bro. Come on. Come on. And like, goddamn. Like, we need some reinforcements here. All right. But, hey.
Like
next...
Santa Monica, come back.
Like that, like Santa Monica. Like, they probably some relief. Now, hey. So, listen, I'm just gonna give, I know he's not here, but I'm going to give Project Cloud his flowers. I'm just, there's just no point. Why delay the inevitable, right? So the next topic is the PS5 Pro. So even more rumors coming out. Now, the reason why I give up, the reason why I'm throwing in the towel, I'm just throwing in the towel. It just is what it is, right? The reason why is, right, because there's even more detailed. And apparently, the actual project name of this is Project Trinity, right? Now, if you're familiar, I don't know if you paid attention to the previous iterations, but Sony, for whatever reason, now they like using, Matrix names for their projects. I don't know why. It's not even their movie. I think Warner Brothers makes that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for what? Yeah.
I believe they may have used some of Sony's cameras.
Well, almost every. Like, is it like 90% of the industry using Sony cameras? It's like almost everybody.
Yeah, I know they're pretty high up there.
Yeah. Even like movie theaters. But like, for example, PS4 Pro was Project Neo. PSVR was Project Morpheus. Now this is Project Trinity. So obviously the trifecta. So that kind of like, holy cow. That's like, Jesus Christ. So apparently here's the rumorville. The rumor began over the weekend with a blog post from Tom Henderson last Friday. According to anonymous sources, Sony has been working on Project Trinity since early last year. You might recall Sony's affinity for references to the movie The Matrix with its Project Morpheus, PSVR, and Project Neo, PS4 Pro in 2016. Henderson's sources said the more powerful console sports it says 30 WGP and 18,000 MTS memory. Let's not pretend we know what that means. I don't care. We're just skipping that bullshit, right? These terms are difficult to define without context. Since 30 WGP is equivalent to 60 CU, oh shit, Craig. You couldn't listen. You didn't even know you couldn't find what 52 CUs was. Now you got to deal with 60.
Oh god.
Now you got to look for 60 CU. You haven't even found 52 yet. Now you got to get 60 CUs anyway. And the PS5 can run up to 36 CU. Some believe that Sony is shooting to double the performance over the standard console, a reasonable assumption considering the insider's claim of higher, more stable FPS at 4K and a 8K mode. They also mentioned that the PS5 Pro will have accelerated ray tracing. Presumably, the sources meant AI accelerated, but that is unclear. Sony plans on sending out PS5 Pro dev kits later this year and is shooting for consumer launch in November 2024. Although the insiders didn't mention a price point, current rumors indicate pricing likely range between $599 and $699. Of course, as always, we should remain critical of anonymous leaks. While there are good reasons for true insiders to stay anonymous, it also allows jerks to pretend to having exciting information while making up stuff. Keep your grain of salt handy.
I'm gonna have an ocean of salt.
Okay,
I fully do not believe this.
You don't. Okay, go ahead. You started off. What you think?
Listen, guys. Insiders are in the business of generating clicks. It is what it is, and they are. What is it? What has happened here is that they started a rumor, and then they doubled down on it initially, and then a few months later they doubled down again. That is literally the only thing that has happened here. There has been no leak. No proof. Nobody has Sony indicating, that, which of course they wouldn't. But there has been no indication besides the people that are telling you that this thing is happening. And when I look at, again, we've talked about it before, it makes no sense. You have designed a wonderful piece of technology that your consumers are buying in droves. Your last experiment, the PS4 Pro, was a relative failure. Let's be honest. Not many people bought it. So this notion that, okay, if you create this product, how many of these do you expect to sell? 10 or 20 million? That's unlikely. Most people are just going to go for the PS5. So again, what is the PS5 Pro trying to answer to? Now, there could be some technology in there that, I don't know, somehow makes it worth it for Sony as a company to launch something that only going to sell maybe 5 million of again. But I'm skeptical. I'm highly skeptical. And then the thing is, my main argument is going to revolve for today is going to revolve around the plates. Like Sony has finally started doing what we expected them to do. Not only do they have plain plates that you can color and everything for your console, but now you have the Spider-Man edition plates. As a company, you kind of owe your customers, some kind of upkeep, some kind of loyalty, sometimes some kind of like consumer friendliness. That if they buy the plates in September for the PlayStation 5, then supposedly your PlayStation 5 Pro could work with the same plates. But then from a marketing standpoint, you would want it to have a radically different design so that people can visually see it's a different product and it's different from the base PS5.
Yeah.
And some like if you were to make a PS5 Pro, but you had to be constrained as to the profiles of the plates, the only thing you could really do is make the middle section thicker in order to accommodate, kind of like the more performant insides of the machine, which means that you have a slightly thicker PS5 in the Z axis, but then really nothing else will be different, which will kind of be the inner solution, but the marketing will hate it because they'll be like, oh, that's not different enough. Or you could say, okay, we're going to fit the internals within the exact same shape as a normal PS5 because we've been able to like make extra room and optimize the design of the PS5 base. But then again, marketing will hate it because they'll be like visually, people will not be able to tell that this is a different product. Like there's a reason that Apple puts an extra lens on, on the iPhone 14 Pro or whatever. And that's not because they couldn't put an extra lens on the base model. That's just because they want something that is different. So you can recognize immediately when you see three lenses, oh, this person's got a Pro model. Like that's literally the only reason that they remove a lens from the other ones. So it's like, what would you do that is visually different if you have to keep the same profile for your plates? Because Sony isn't going to want to make 4 different plates. They're not going to want to make a PlayStation 5 base digital plate, PlayStation 5 base disc plate, PlayStation 5 Pro digital plate, PlayStation 5 Pro disc plate. Like, they're not going to want to do that. So that's my argument. I don't believe any of this.
All right. Craig! Is he here still?
Yeah, just real fast. Real fast. They are going to make another PlayStation. Is it going to be spec to what this person was saying? Was it Tom Henderson?
Do you think it's a slim?
Spec. Just call it this another PlayStation is coming. PlayStation pretty much admitted it when they said that they would not, under oath, they would not allow was it Activision? They wouldn't be working with Activision anymore as far as letting them see early kits. So, we'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. But if they had pretty much admitted that, yeah, they're working on another.
Well, yeah, system. but that's the PlayStation 6 though. That's pretty common.
Maybe. No, the Pro could convert to the 6. That's the whole thing I'm trying to say.
No. Even if it's the Pro, like for example, well, they were making the PS4 Pro. They were still already researching, designing for the PlayStation 5. They always start early with the PlayStation 5. They always start early. Like one doesn't interfere with the other. So they like two or three projects could be happening at the same time. It's just whether or not is the Pro a legit project. Like the 6 is already a project. That I could tell you. That's already.
Yeah, I was just told to call the next project the next PlayStation. Whether it's going to be a Pro, whether they delay it and make it a 6. We don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, I understand that people want to make sure that you just keep the powder dry. I talked about it a little bit. I'm like, until you know the bus and all that kind of stuff, then you're not going to know where they're at. But yeah, I mean, it could be something. If they're going to double are they going to double the T-flop count? Are they going to double the performance? Do they have to have 18 teraflops to double the performance? This is stuff like that they're still working on. So this people can just kind of wait and see. It's fun to talk about. I understand the speculation, but and Tom may be correct. I'm sure if he's wrong, he'll just say, "Well, it was a rumor." That's that's what he'll say.
All right. So, okay. So for me, the reason why now I changed my mind because he did say something that. While we can't verify, or we will never be able to, how would you say, validate, right? He did make a statement that other people can validate, and they have the opportunity to crush him. And his statement, he officially said that dev kits will be releasing at, by the end of the year. Now that statement, by the end of the year, if developers don't got dev kits, I can't validate they didn't get dev kits. You can't, Extreme can't, but I guarantee there are YouTubers that can. I guarantee, like Red Tech, there are people that have dev guys, and I guarantee they are waiting till the end of the year or January, and they're gonna call their contact and be like, "Hey, Tom Henderson said you should be receiving dev kits." And if they tell them, "Listen, we'll tell you, but you cannot talk about it, or you lose every whatever," and he'll be like, "All right," and they'll be like, "Yeah, we got the dev kits," and they're gonna be like, "Fuck." If you don't see videos from Red Tech by January, February, or those guys denouncing Henderson, is because they validated it and they kept quiet and they can't say shit about it. Because I guarantee if they could say, "Nah, we ain't got that. That's not true at all," they're going to put a video out, and because that's traction for them. Being able to confirm fake news, they'll be able, that's huge traction for that. Like I said, we can't validate. And that's why, because when he said that, he put himself in the pickle. He made a statement that can be validated or invalidated by certain people. He said that these dev kits should be launching by the end of the year. That's a statement that is verifiable. Or somebody, like if I had the connections like Red Tech or Linux and all those guys, I'd be like, "Oh, really, Henderson? Okay. Time's a ticking."
I'm gonna make also said that a couple of his sources said that the project had been canceled.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I was literally told to call it the next PlayStation. Now, whether it's a Pro or the 6 or 6.5, that's whether it gets fabricated in this timeline.
But those things are not verifiable. Those things you could just say, and nobody has you could just say, "Oh yeah, I think the next PlayStation is going to be a console, but I don't know what it is." Well, no shit. You just
you're right.
You made the statement so vague. You can't be wrong. Because it could be like if it's the PlayStation 6, you could say I'm right. Well, no shit, you're right. Sony's not gonna. The only way you could be wrong is if Sony decides to say, "Yeah, we're no longer making consoles." But Henderson he put himself in a box. Whether either A he didn't notice he put himself in a box, or B is like, no, this is happening because he put himself in a box that he can be validated or invalidated. Because he made a definitive statement. Dev kits should be shipping out by the end of the year. There's going to be people that have connections, and they're going to be like, "I'm going to make some phone calls by January and February and see if this happens." And
yeah, but then he could just say in March, like, "Oh, this been delayed." Like, you know what I mean? There's no pinning it down. You're trying to pin it down and be like, "Listen, by January, if we don't have confirmation, then we know what's up." But it's like, because he can just say, there's no risk.
True, he could, but he opened the door for other people to bash him now, right? But
what will he lose?
You know what I'm saying?
He's already gotten all the clicks. And people don't hold these people accountable.
I guess. I'm just saying he says something that's more verifiable than often. Like, the one thing that's good about fake news is its ambiguity. Like, you can't be pinned down and nobody can actually say, "All right, now that you said this, I'll be able to hold you to that." You know, it's so ambiguous. I don't know. So I have a feeling this thing is real.
Listen.
And I'll be honest, it's not like I want it.
He can just say, "Hey, listen, at the time I heard Sony was doing it, then they decided to cancel it because they heard Emmanuel talk about plates and they were like, oh, we don't want to release."
No, so let me hit you. So let me hit you. So I'll hit you up with that one. That's a good point you made up. But I think at this point, let's say, for example, like me, let's say Jay Barry. We'll use Jay Barry as a good example, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna get the plates. But I think a person who's gonna buy a PS5 Pro and they're gonna buy it day one, that's not gonna stop them because of plates. They could give a shit. The PS5 Pro comes out.
Actually, I disagree. Why? Because the only people that will buy the Pro are the enthusiasts.
Exactly.
And even if they're like, "Okay, I understand that my Spider-Man plates is too late for that." Now for future games, they're gonna be like, "You're creating plates for me too." You get what I mean? So even if they let go of the Spider-Man plate, they'll be like, "Yeah, that was a PS5 plate, whatever." Now that let's say the next Naughty Dog game, let's say Last of Us Part 3 comes out, and it give plates for the standard, kind of that base PS5. Now they're gonna want plates for the.
They probably do,
for the Pro version.
But let's say Sony doesn't do it, then that gamer has a choice. Like, you bought the Pro because of the power. You have an advantage with the Pro that the PS5 guys don't have. So pick your choice, right? And I think some gamers, you're gonna have people comply. You're gonna have people that's gonna be like, "Oh, this sucks. Sony didn't design the PS5 Pro with plates in mind." But
they will be livid. This isn't a small thing, dude.
Nah, what compared to graphics and performance, they'll get over it. They'll get over it. I guarantee. How much you want to bet they'll get over it?
Podorok. The entire industry is raking people over skins of a digital thing. Imagine a physical item that Sony tells you, if you had the cheaper version, if you had kept your base version, we would be accommodating all of these games and everything that you want to show. But since you got the Pro, we're locking you out. That would be like Apple making the iPhone 14 Pro line, the iPhone Pro line incompatible with cases. Like, you get performance, but you don't get to put a case on this. No cases whatsoever. But if you get the base version, you can put any case you want. Like, dude, it will be a massive deal.
Yeah, but didn't Apple do that when they got rid of the headphone jack? You couldn't use your previous headphone jack
on everything.
You see what I'm saying?
Just on the Pro version.
But you see what I'm saying?
You get what I mean?
No, but you had a model, and then all of a sudden, the next model, the next iteration, they took away features.
Yeah, but that was across the board. What I think 6 didn't have the disc.
What I'm trying to say is,
but all of them
will there be outrage? Yes, but it'll be Twitter word outrage. Yes, it will. So what do you think? People will not play PlayStation no more? Like what do you think will happen?
I think that people what do you think will happen? All the Pro, they will just tank the sales of the Pro going forward. Like, people will be like, no, if I can't have this, I'm not buying this because I want to celebrate my games as well.
I think the Pro's designed for people that want performance. If you don't want the Pro, then you really didn't care about the performance, which is not a big market for consoles. I admit,
but could have both. That's the thing. Like
you could, but if
an either or.
No. I'm not making it either or. I'm just saying if it ends up being an either or, if you want the performance, take it or leave it. Choose your poison. I guarantee, if people want the performance, sure, they will hate the fact that God, this sucks. The console wasn't designed with plates and aesthetic in mind, but oh well, what I really want out of this I'm getting, because I am no longer want to worry about checkerboard 4K, or the only way I could play my game is in performance mode 60. If this console gives me native 4K 60 standard with ray tracing as the standard across the games, people will take that and they'll sacrifice the plates. Sure, they'll complain and they'll complain while they're playing the Pro, and hell, they'll complain every week. But they will still get the Pro if the performance, and that's what I think.
But then you're talking about like the most enthusiasts of enthusiasts.
I agree.
And you're completely cutting out like the casual market that might be enticed by just going up one level. Like you're taking out like the whole upselling route. Because now you're saying here's a major disadvantage.
But you just said yourself the Pro was a failure. So what market are you talking about?
Yeah, but now you're making more of a failure.
So then that's Sony's problem. That ain't my problem.
That's what they're doing, though. They will look at it and be like, we don't want to run into that.
But they may not. I think if they're willing to risk low sales of virtual reality, I think they're willing to risk for Pro. I don't know why. I'll be honest. It's not like I'm advocating. You know I don't advocate this. In fact, if anything, the Pro is going to, into a certain extent, screw over PS5 base users. It's in my opinion. Yes. And what I mean by that is, and I think Extreme, you already know where I'm going to go with. If the Pro comes out, that gives developers less incentive to really, truly tap into the PlayStation 5. At a certain point, the games will be just good enough. And if you want more, well, then you go buy the Pro. Because that's where you're going to get more instantly. Because the hardware is doing it. It makes it easier for the devs. Like, if you want the most locked on, true lockdown 60 frames per second, the best lighting, the best visuals, well, because of the Pro, it makes it easier for devs because the power is there. So the PS5, you're going to get good quality games, but that extra year or 2 years or 3 years of tutelage and knowledge and improvement, it's going to stop. They're going to be like, listen, go get the Pro. If you really want this extra work, the Pro's over there, buddy. You get
All
you
they
will get
would
you
do the PlayStation 4
Yeah.
route, which is they made everything for the base, and then the Pro wasn't that significant the difference. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a lose-lose scenario, I think,
Yeah.
as far as the company goes, because it's like, okay, we choose the target, so we either screw over the base PS5, which is always got 40 million consoles sold, so that's literally, and that's always going to be the majority
Yeah.
of your install
Yeah.
base.
Yes.
You know, to justify the Pro. Or we do the opposite, you know, we kind of give people a Pro that should theoretically be able to do more, but we give them just frame rate and resolution, and then we call that a day. So that at the end of the day, they don't really feel like, oh, I bought another $500 or $600 console, but I'm seeing like a 20%, you know, kind of like different in my experience of gaming rather than double the experience.
Well, I'm gonna say this:
you know?
if the Pro can do native 4K 60. I think that alone will impress people. Where you the default is native 4K 60, and then if they include ray tracing is included, and then like you don't need special trickery or performance mode. Like performance mode for that console will be 120 now, or the 8K, because supposedly checkerboard 8K 60 is a thing, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think native 4K 60. I think people, the hardcore, the enthusiasts, the performance gamers will jump all over that. Casual gamers, PS5 all the way. If a
Pro comes
normal.
out, I'm gonna be buying it. You know,
because you want the graphics, and then you want people remake the game for your Pro.
100%. You know, I'm gonna be there. I just find it hard to
I
make
know.
it make sense.
I know. I
just find it so
can't.
hard to make it make
I
sense.
I agree. Especially like you have this console that is selling through the roof. Like, just make money off it. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to interrupt the cycle.
And
like,
listen,
you're not even doing a price drop.
Opposed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the Pro. I just think it doesn't make any sense. But I'm not like ideologically opposed to it. But there are many gamers that are like, you haven't used the box that you saw me. You know, I know that there's more power on tap here. Now you want to find a way out of, you know, kind of like optimizing your games. You want to just give me, you know, upsell me on more expensive hardware, which feels a bit like, oh yeah, you know, your car was supposed to do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Yeah, we could only do 6. But don't worry, we can upsell you this new engine.
The GT model.
Will do it.
Well, Mustang does it. We'll charge you the Mustang Cobra. Buy the Cobra. We'll give you the performance you want. Let me just do this.
Just like the one we promised. Yeah.
Strong Gerline Herman. He said, can't wait for the Pro. Day one, you lost the bet. Yeah, I did. You know, if that console comes out, I owe Z, Big Damu, $60. Strong Gerline Herman. He says, the Australian captain, P-Rock, the Pro is coming. And Strong Look, and again, Jawline Herman, he says, either buy the Pro or not. Why cry about it? It's just a conversation. Just a conversation.
Just a conversation.
Now,
like,
let's have...
say, yep, the Pro is great, you know, the conversation will be extremely short, which might be what you want to hear. But I'm just saying that I don't see why Sony would do it. Again, you have this console that is selling year over year more than you expected. Now, with the Spider-Man push, like, that's going to be huge. I fully believe that there is a dev kit being developed. I fully believe there's a console being developed. I fully believe that developers will receive something by 2024, 2025. But is that going to translate into something that is sold to the consumers as a PlayStation 5 Pro? I don't know. Because another thing that you get is if you create a PlayStation 5 Pro, you remove the performance gap that the PlayStation 6 can offer. You know?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Yeah, a Pro takes away from what the 6 can do, because if the Pro is really, really good and really well optimized, and let's say that it can do 4K ray tracing, 60 frames per second, then it's like, all right, cool. What's the PlayStation 6 supposed to do? Because then there will only be like 4 years in between the two. It's not like there'll be another 8 years where the technology can get better. And we know that technology is slowing down in terms of like what hardware can do. Yeah. And there's only so much that you can fix inside the box. So for me, I'm like, okay, let's say you create like the most enticing Pro model with like specs out the wazoo. How do you sell people on the PlayStation 6?
I mean,
like,
yeah.
What's the difference going to be?
I mean, yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, but technology does improve faster and faster. But at the same time, games is kind of like diminishing returns in a way. Like, there's only so much textures there's only monumental leaps in textures that you can do. It's more like incremental leaps, right? Like, you really have to nitpick stuff, right? Interesting. Hey, so let's do an intermission. Shout out to Gamer Life.
It used to be 70% that they would keep. Does he not understand this? It used to be Sony would keep 70.
Oh, I just had to put that out there. I'm sorry, I just had to put that out there. Oh man, y'all saw y'all saw that chat? Big Himbo embarrassed the shit out of himself, man. This is not the first time either, man. I don't want to talk to him, but homeboy. Oh man, if y'all don't know, so let me tell you. So what ended up happening? Okay, so there was one time, and it's funny. It was almost on the same topic. It was about Activision and COD, right? Right. It was the first time, the very first announcement, Microsoft announced their intent to purchase Activision. So I made a video talking about that this strategy works, especially with Call of Duty, because that is the perfect game for Microsoft Vision strategy for Game Pass. They already have a company or publisher is already making a game that comes out every year. It is successful in terms of money. Whether you like the game or not, regardless of the Metacritic score, everybody consistently plays it every year. So now you have a big AAA game that comes out on Game Pass every year. And then you will have people that if they actually look at things, they're like, wait a minute, I pay $60 to play online and the game costs $60. That's $120. For only $60 more, I'll be able to do the same thing, which is play the game every year, and I'll be able to play whatever other game that comes out there, regardless of it is, right? So that's another option, right? So I'm like, man, this strategy works for Microsoft. I'm like, all right, and that was pretty much my video. Alex takes my video, and he says it the same thing, but he says it in a way as if I don't understand that, even though that's what my video's about. He's just repeating what I'm saying, but he's making it seem like I don't understand. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, you're saying the same shit I said. Like, why are you making it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about when we're just saying the same thing? So then I made a counter video, and then after that, I'm like, I'm not watching this guy's shit because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. This guy's on crack, right? You know, it's like me saying, it's like literally I said, hey, 1 + 2 is 3. He makes a video. Puerto Rock stupid. 2 + 1 is 3. See how smart I am? And I'm like, whatever. So fast forward, I don't watch his stuff, whatever. But last Saturday, I got a DM. And usually I get DMs be like, oh, he's talking about you. But 9 times out of 10, it's the video. I'm like, whatever. He's just an idiot and he's going to fuck it up anyway. I ain't got time for that. But they said specifically, like, no, he's like talking to you personal about you. I'm like, personally? What do you mean? He's like, he's making fun of you personally or what stuff. He's not talking about gaming. And I'm like, why the fuck is he making fun of me? Like, I thought that was out of character. I'm thinking, that's just strange. That doesn't make sense. So I went on his live. I rewinded a little bit because he was already deep into it. And then like, he's talking shit about how a hat fits. Like he says, I need to buy, the chest in, I need to buy a bigger hat. I'm like, hold on. Like I could put this hat all the way down to my head. Like, am I supposed to wear it like this? What do you think, chat? Is this how you wear a hat now, son? Because I have in New York, you wear your hat pretty high and you keep the brim. Like you no longer bend the brim no more. Because these hats are like fucking $50-$60. You don't do that in Wakanda no more. Right? It's not like, we don't live in West Virginia wearing a John Deere green farmer's hat where you bend and stuff. Like those days are over. So, so I keep it tight. Sometimes I'm lazy, whatever. But this thing goes all the way down. Listen, man. I have a big head. I've been on that. Y'all not telling me something I have not experienced my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? But look at this. Am I supposed to like do this or some shit? Anyway. So he's out there throwing jokes. And I just found it weird because I'm thinking, is this his content now? Like he goes around making fun of people personally. I'm like, that's some junior high school level shit right there. So it's anyway weird. So that's what drew me in. So I'm like, all right, let me listen to this dumb. Since I'm already here, let me see. And then he's talking. I'm like, and he has this annoying habit of stopping videos every 5 seconds. And I'm like, how can people watch this shit, bro? Like, let the conversation go. Like, he barely talks. He stops the video for 5 seconds and then he critiques it. And I'm thinking, the shit you're critiquing is in the video. Like, if you would just shut the fuck up and listen to the video. Like, he did not see the video. So he's doing this, I guess, as a live reaction, which is terrible because you're critiquing something you haven't seen yet. All right, well, I guess that works, right? So he's fucking it all up, right? And then that part where you see the clip, where you saw what he did, the homeboy thought Sony got 70% of the revenue of Call of Duty and Activision got 30. And I'm like, when he said that live, when he goes, does he not understand Sony kept 70? Doesn't he not understand? And I'm like, yo, listen, I was like this. Like, if there was a camera, like, if I was doing a live reaction of his video, you would have saw me like... Because, like, 50 million things went through my head. I'm like, this motherfucker doesn't understand the industry split? I'm like, bro, you made hundreds of videos. You've been, like, even... You're telling me, even going back to just last gen, just the Xbox One, PS4 gen... There was no point in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 that you didn't know about the 70-30 split? Like, and I'm thinking like, holy shit. This dude, that just shocked the fuck out of me. And then the chat's telling him like, bro, no, that's not what it is. And he's like, what? Wait. Activision got the 70? Oh, Activision got the 70. I'm thinking like, holy shit! What? You make a career out of talking shit about people? What? Like, bro, you need to humble yourself, bro, and stuff like that. And then later on, I used the word gen pop, right? He got like, you could tell his mannerism completely changed because now he's like, oh, gen pop, what the hell is that? I only never heard that word. And then somebody in the chat says gen pop stands for general population. He starts saying, oh, great. So Puerto Rock's making up words? And I'm thinking, what the fuck is happening here? Like, apparently, I made up the word gen pop. Ladies and gentlemen, I created the word gen pop.
You should take credit, man. You should
like,
take credit.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this stream? Like, he's mad because I used the word gen pop, which is normal. And then somebody's told them, hey, it's a prison term. So then he starts hysterically laughing. And I'm like, what's he's laughing at? And then he goes, ha, Puerto Rock exposed himself. I'm like, is he trying to say I went to prison because I said the word gen pop? Like, you've never seen a prison movie? Or the show Oz on HBO? Or like, and I'm thinking, listen, holy shit, this guy lost it live. He lost it. Like, he lost all sense of critical faculties live on the air. I'm like, yo. And the part is, and the funny thing is, it wasn't even me. It was a video of me. I didn't do anything. It wasn't live on a debate where I crushed him. It was literally a pre-recorded video that made him distraught and cope. I was like, yo, this is crazy. This guy's like literally getting crushed. And I'm like not even there. I'm just like watching this disaster unfold. And I'm like, bro, man, like, yo, like, I guess, like, when you make content making fun of people on a personal level, you just don't have that intestinal fortitude that the moment you make a mistake, you just don't know how to handle it because you try to create this persona of perfection. And that's like, yo, Alex, man, be humble, bro. If you're going to talk shit for fun, fine. But when it comes back to you, have fun with it, bro. But, oh, man, that shit, I was looking at him like, and then, like, all you heard was this, right? Like, you heard him. I don't know what the fuck he was clicking, but that mouse was getting wore the fuck out. That mouse was looking at him like, bro, chill. The fuck you think you playing StarCraft? The fuck is wrong with you? Like, yo, all you heard was. I'm like, yo, this dude, like, he caught a tick. He's twitching. I'm like, this guy's about to catch a. You don't believe? And I'm not lying. Listen, I'm not joking. Go listen to the stream. All you heard was click, 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 all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, he's laser focused. He's like this now. Yeah? Anybody have a video on that? Yeah? Huh? No? So who cares? Who cares? Like, oh, his demeanor completely changed. I'm like, you say he's mining crypto. Yo, his mannerism changed. And I'm like, yo, this dude's not in a healthy place. Like, listen, that's how it starts, man. So far, listen, when you see a big YouTuber, and he's successful, right? He's doing real great. But when they start taking off their shirts, when they start doing things that's just like, I don't know. It's only a matter of time. He's heading down that road, man. I wish him the best, but man, this is like, wow. he's on the path, and he needs to veer left or right, because oh boy, that shit was weird. I was just watching this disaster live on air, bro. I literally pulled the M&N on him. I was like, you can take the mic home with you. And I still won. And I was kind of mad. I'm like, I don't know if I should be mad or glad. Because it's not really me embarrassing you, because I'm not there. It's a recording of me, so I feel cheated. Like, it's like the recording gets the credit. It's not really me. You know, it's like a clone. Like, you see your clone beating somebody, and you're like, that's not me. I need to do this. I need to be there live and get the credit. It was a goddamn video. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. That guy did it. That guy right there, smiling with the glasses. He gets the win. I didn't get the win. I wasn't there. I was spectating. I'm like, this is bullshit. Yo, but what do you think about that? Do you like you saw how weird? Even you, I think you tweeted. You were like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how do you
listen?
You're like, how do you lose to a pre-recorded video? You literally had the playbook in your hand.
This is you did pull an Eminem, you know. This is what he meant when he said you couldn't verse me with the lines I've wrote for you. You know, like how is it that you have a pre-recorded video? You have infinite time to prepare your arguments. Like you really do. Like I know you can be lazy and you can just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go into this, but at least watch it first. You know, at least kind of get a general sense of what it is that you're going to be talking about.
It's only one
that's
view,
not even to
Alex.
make fun of someone.
Alex,
that's just like general kind of courtesy to be
it's
like,
only
I'm
one
going to
view.
talk to my audience about something. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Like, just, my goodness. How do you do this? How do you do this? Like, I'm sorry, guys. Fuck I look like losing to a video. How? And the thing is, I'm having a debate that the other person didn't even know what's happening. You know, it's a bit like, it's like losing a game that the other team didn't know about and didn't show up to. And yet you scored so many own goals that they literally won without being there. That's literally what happened. Like,
you kept kicking the goals to the wrong net.
Exactly. You just kept getting confused. You're just like, no, that's not your goal. Go to the other one. It's like, what, here?
The one that's empty. The one that's empty. No one's there.
Exactly. I'm sorry, like, you can't lose a game when the other person didn't show up. You know?
Oh,
or it's like playing table tennis, but you keep fouling the serve so many times that the guy wins without ever showing up. Like you just can't serve right. You just
it keeps hitting the net. You're like, bro.
Exactly. Like, you're just like, just stop. Just get it over. Just listen. Listen, just tap it.
Just don't do nothing. You'll win because of timeout. Just stand there. You will win by default. Just don't do nothing.
It's like playing chess. So you can't make the first move. Like you're so discombobulated, and every move you try to make is illegal. It's like, listen, your time's running out. Just move the pawn forward.
Like you
the
will
person
win.
Isn't there. There's no way you can lose.
Oh man, it's just weird. All right. Oh man. So
crazy.
All right. So let's do the next topic. So that was a little intermission. Let's go back onto the Pro, but let's talk about it from the console war aspect.
Yep.
So somebody tell me what the hell is a Xbox Series X2?
Oh, is this from Cold Eastwood?
Oh yeah, coming in 2024. Like, can anybody help me out here? Like, I haven't heard nothing about an Xbox mid-gen refresh. Like, can somebody, like, did something come up? Did Tom Henderson? Like, I didn't hear anything. You heard anything, Extreme? This is the first. This is like, you know how you just talked about people just make up shit? This is it right here. Mm-hmm. This is really it. Like, like, what's an Xbox Series X2? That don't even sound marketable. Like, try to say that 10 times fast. Xbox Series X2, Xbox Series X2. Like, it doesn't even sound right.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No.
Like,
no.
Talk about go. Like, in my opinion, the PS5 Pro, in a way, I do want it to come because this is going to be Colt Eastwood's worst nightmare. Like, this is his worst case scenario ever in gaming. Because
Actually,
imagine,
I fully disagree, man. I fully disagree.
think about it.
Because what he'll tell you is that the Xbox Series X is so far ahead of the PS5 that Sony felt the need to create a PS5 Pro to counter it, knowing that eventually, inevitably, the PS5 just couldn't keep up with brand new AAA multiplayer games, and therefore they had to create the PlayStation 5 Pro in order to compete and remain relevant in the console space. Microsoft, on the other hand, did not need to do the same because the Xbox Series X is already their mid-gen refresh, which they were so consumer friendly as to release right at the beginning of the generation for only $4.99.
You know what? I can't argue with you. You are so right. You took his thing before he could make. He probably already has that video recorded and waiting for 2 years, and you just stole his thunder. You just stole his thunder. Yeah. Oh my God, that is so punctual. That is so on point. It's just crazy. But yo, with the PS5 Pro coming, this is an Xbox fanboy's worst nightmare. Because if that thing is real and it comes out 2024 and Microsoft is like, and most likely Microsoft is not doing a mid-gen refresh because they already have 2 unique consoles, meaning 2 different architectures. They're not going to add a third. They're not adding a third. That to them is like, yeah, we're not doing that. Especially,
I mean, they added 2, which is already just so stupid.
Yes.
That I could see a third. To be honest, I don't trust you to be smart.
You know what? You're right.
That was a bad idea.
You know what? Double down on stupid. If you're gonna go, go all the way.
Hey,
so,
listen,
in fact, they're gonna release.
Anything that is.
They're gonna release 2 consoles. They're gonna release the Xbox Series S Plus and the Xbox Series X Plus. So it's 4 unique consoles. So the Series Plus the Series Plus is stronger than the Series S, but weaker than the Series X.
Yes.
While the Series X Plus is stronger than that, but still not stronger than the PS4. 5 Pro.
There you go.
It's still fucked up. It's still having trouble. It still can't. Oh man, it's all jacked up. But this is some shit. But I'm telling you, to the PlayStation, fanboys, to the dudes who love the console war, if that PS5 Pro coming, I could see them watering at the mouth. It's gonna be. I'm not gonna be involved. I'm just gonna listen, bro. I'm gonna be like, listen.
If the PS5 Pro comes out, Digital Foundry needs to close up shop because those Xbox fans are gonna burn down their house. They will. Could you imagine video after video, the PlayStation 5 Pro is just dog walking both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X.
Oh my God.
They're gonna need to go under witness protection. Honestly, they're gonna need the CIA's help.
At that point, I'm just gonna feel bad. I'm gonna look at the Xbox community like,
I'm sorry we did this to you.
I'll be like, listen. I'll be like, listen. I'm a console war fanboy. But me and Extreme, we didn't coincide the Pro, so please don't be mad at us. We were cool with the 5.
This shit wasn't right.
We were cool with the 5. Right. And they're going to be like, but you buying the Pro, me and you're going to be looking at each other like...
The Pro would be the equivalent of you and I on the team versus, let's say, Gas and Ono is Alex, just playing basketball. And we're already trouncing them, okay? And then they're like, okay, let's do 3v3. And then, they bring on someone else, they bring on like a... Team Dog, and then we bring on LeBron James. We're just like, yeah. He's our third. We'll just sit down, have some sandwiches, have just a chat.
Like we're just gonna pass the ball. We'll just inbound the ball. That's all we're gonna do. we'll just be there to inbound. LeBron. He said they got Tim Dog. We get LeBron. Come here. I'm not gonna lie, console warring, if that thing comes out, oh my God, console warring is gonna be so much fun. Because there's nothing that
I haven't had any fun since Microsoft gave up.
I don't know.
When they said that we can't outconsole
Sony, I was like, that's probably why.
Took the fun out of it.
Phil probably said, man, the Pro's coming, and listen, we are down 13% hardware revenue. We are not making another Xbox console that you're not gonna buy. Nah, stop it. We're done with that. So that's interesting, man. And then let me hit the last topic. Anyway, that's interesting. So last topic I want to hit, and it's Starfield Lifeless.
A garbage game. Yep.
But I hope I could find it. But there was an article where apparently fans are demanding or hoping. Oh, here it is. Here we go. I found it. See, I'm not crazy. So fans are
How
hoping.
does it feel Bill, to just see like yourself losing in slow motion?
Who?
Because they don't
I haven't
have the courtesy.
No,
to
I'm
wait
not
until the game releases.
No, see, I know, man. Listen, listen. As long as the game's not built to be Minecraft, I'm good. Even if it's only 20 hours.
That's the standard.
Listen. Yeah. All I want. Listen, my thing's not even hard. All I want is the space version of Fallout or Elder Scrolls. That's it. That's all I'm asking because I love those games. You know, I love them. Even if they like New Vegas scored poorly, I still love the game. I just love that formula. Please don't change that formula. At least give me if it's only 20 hours worth of that formula, I'm fine with that. Give me 20 hours of my formula. Then the rest of the shit could be Minecraft. I don't give a fuck. But let me enjoy what I enjoy. Don't take that away from me, goddammit. Don't do it.
People, the bar's low, man. The bar's low.
But hey, listen. I like what I like. I love Fallout and I love Elder Scrolls. I love those games. I enjoy those games.
You know what?
That's
I'm
it.
not even gonna
I love
hold
it.
you. That's
I love it. Listen. I love it. And I play. And hey, I stand by it. You look at the games, dog shit or not. I play what I play, and I do love it. I just want more of that. Please don't take that away from me. Because I swear to God, if you take that away from me, there will be hell to pay.
But what if they give you that, but then everything else around the rest of the game just makes it garbage?
I don't play. I won't play the rest of the game. I'll just play what I like.
What I mean is the design decisions. For example, they'll tell you, okay, listen, we're tracking all the sandwiches. Now you can have 60 FPS. So you're like, all right, fine. That's not great, but whatever. Then they're like, listen, we gave you all of these ship customizations so you don't get any vehicles. And you're like, okay. I guess that's not great. Then they're like, listen, we created all of these procedurally generated planets and everything, so you don't get great side quests. Then you're like, okay, fair enough. Then they're like, hey, listen, we created,
Oh no, like meaning that's exactly what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of that. That in order to do this, which is like if they do all these procedures, let's say for example, procedure generated shit, whatever, blah blah blah, and all of this, but it takes away the identity of what Fallout and Elder Scrolls does. That's what I'm afraid of. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. You are correct. I am afraid of that. That the game is not the game I expected because they're doing all this other shit. And I'm like, this is not Fallout and Elder Scrolls. This is not the single player type of thing that you're used to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no, fuck. God damn it. Shit. Fuck you.
Listen. The reason that I say that this is garbage is because I just don't think that this is.
Well, you don't like Fallout. You didn't like Fallout and Elder Scrolls anyway, though, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, Elder Scrolls. Oh my god, Bethesda games in general. Oh,
those games.
God,
you don't like that. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it.
I don't understand.
I love it.
I feel like if I was on the ground floor, like when these games were like pushing boundaries, like when they were like the foremost, of technology. Then yes, maybe. But I think going backwards, I don't know how your brother does it. Like he played like Fallout, I think 4 or 3 or something. And he's like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm like, really? Have you seen that
Fallout 3 is awesome.
Hey, listen, man.
They need to remake it. They need to remake it and sell it for $70.
I agree. Like if there is actually like a good game beneath all of that.
Okay.
I agree. Like, make it look good, give it a system where people can actually shoot it properly and everything. Like, change a few things like Final Fantasy 7 remake.
I love it. Oh, I agree with that. Remake that sucker and sell it for $70.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen, man. Remakes are like, listen, do it.
I love your Godfather. Like, listen, I could not argue against you once you said Godfather. Like, you are right. That movie gets remastered and re-released to meet the demands of every generation. I'm like, you know what? If movies can do it, why can't games?
Books can do it. Books do it. Like that for me, that's the most ridiculous thing. Books do it. Books was coming with a brand new edition. Not a single word has changed, and people will buy it because it looks like it's got a snazzy new cover. Or when they do like special hardcover versions.
It's just a cover, and then they sell for like $100. It's the same goddamn words.
Books are expensive. Also, like when people talk about like gaming being expensive, I'm like, have you ever tried to be a reader?
Yeah,
like try buying like all the Brandon Sanderson books like all at once. See what your card comes up to.
If you're gonna give me a remastered book, I want that specifically typed by the person.
Have you seen the difference in price between like hardcover versus paper cover books? Like sometimes you have a paper cover book is $30. Whatever. You want a hardcover version, $56. You're
yes,
like,
it is huge. It is. Yes, I know because
that's not the special version.
That's the crazy part.
That's just a hardcover of the same cover that you get on the paperback.
And the crazy part is,
if you want the special version, wow. Listen.
That's the crazy part is I like the hardcover books. There's something about a hardcover book.
Does. Everybody does. That's why they make them.
So yeah, and you put it on in your den, and it's just a great aesthetic look. And it's just annoying. Yep. You're right. And they charge you like $30-$40 just because of
extra. Yeah.
And it's cardboard. It's not like it's made of steel or adamantium or some weird mineral. It's literally cardboard that you use for box, and they just put a little cloth around it.
And half of the time it's printed on the same paper. They don't even give you upgraded paper. Like, again, let us remaster. Respect the platform. Respect the medium. Okay. If you think that Fallout is an amazing game series and the first, 3 are looking kind of dated, let Bethesda remake them from the ground up for you. Make one consistent aiming, targeting, shooting system, one consistent dialogue system, so that you can just smoothly progress through all of the things, experiencing it at the best. Let them do it on a brand new engine. And just let them give you what you think are their masterpieces again, and then support them, And besides, they've done Skyrim like 10 times, so they're no strangers to doing this. And just to point out to my Xbox loving brethren, the last Skyrim, as if the special edition or the anniversary edition, whatever, the last edition that they had was not on Game Pass, even though they were already owned by Microsoft. So small little thing. When people are like, "Oh, Call of Duty is gonna automatically go to Game Pass," I'm like, is it?
That's gonna be interesting. I want to see.
Is it?
It's gonna be interesting. I think it is, but if it isn't, I'm gonna be like,
why didn't the Skyrim Special Edition go to Game Pass then? That would be like the perfect Game Pass game. You've already sold it 1 billion times.
Probably. I don't know. We'll see.
You're already owned by Microsoft. And I mean, they were deeply owned by Microsoft. They weren't like, "Oh, we bought them last week." No, they were like at least a year after the acquisition. And they didn't put that shit on Game Pass. So we're like, you're going to pay for that. So, anyways.
So right here, Starfield fans hoping 900 lifeless planets will be used for future DLC. The fact that, I don't see the point in 1,000 planets in a video game. I'd rather have 20 well-crafted planets than 100, 200 of just...
Do you know how many I'd rather have?
It's just, one? One planet.
We've never had a planet in a video game. Not a single one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We've never had an area map the size of a planet.
I got you.
Do you guys know how big Earth is?
Yes.
How about you design one?
I see what you're saying. Because really, technically speaking, it's a planet, but you're only gonna land in one spot. So you got a whole planet.
Or two. So really, it's just a globe where you have 2 area maps. That's it.
Yes, I see what
you haven't designed. No game has ever designed a planet, except maybe for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But of course, that's just you flying over it.
Yeah.
But when you look at you know how they say there are no vehicles and you can't use your ship in the planet's atmosphere itself. It's just to fly between places, whatever. Right? Look how many days it would take you. People are like, "Oh, it's realistic." Okay, let's be realistic. I think it takes 8,000 days to walk around the planet if you were to just walk in a straight line and never stop.
Yeah.
So, design a planet, and then maybe I will let you come and say you've designed 1,000. So,
yeah. So yeah.
So listen. And I would be more impressed with a person being like, "We've created a map the size of a literal planet," than I am impressed with you creating 1,000 little area maps that are just separated by loading screens, because that's really what it is.
Really, yeah. So 900 lifeless planet used for DLC. Most likely on PC. The modders are just gonna mod the shit out of it, which is fine. But as they should. But imagine how much DLC, because DLC is not part of Game Pass, so you have to pay for DLC. So imagine how much DLC they can charge just to give something that's there actual use, which doesn't sound right to me. You got all these planets, but they're useless until Microsoft charges you more money, so you can actually do something.
Yeah,
that's a model of gaming I don't like at all. I hope that doesn't catch on. Where, hey, we're gonna give you all this space, but the space is empty. All right, So when you gonna release something that we could do? Oh, after we charge you another $20. Now you can use the space, and now the space has purpose.
This is either gonna be a
The
framework
fuck?
of the DLC model or the live service model.
Yeah.
There is no way that they created all of this space and then they are not gonna want to upsell you on their product, because again, when you think about it, the Game Pass model lends itself to that kind of like generating recurring revenue. We get you in the door, we give you the bare minimum, and then, I mean, remember that's what they said that they were going to do with Halo Infinite. That was exactly the same plan. They said, look at this empty open world, and that island over there, you can't go there, but you can see it, and that will be the story expansion. So either they will create expansions that you pay for, or they will create a live service model, which means that they will monetize your ships, they will monetize your customization, they will monetize your skins, your gear, they will sell you booster packs and everything else like that. This isn't going to be like your granddad's Fallout game in space. I'm sorry.
It ain't my Fallout game. This is not. It's not.
It will not be. It will not be what it used to be.
God damn. You know what's crazy though? If you played this game through Game Pass, you're buying shit on something you technically don't own. So you're buying DLC and expansions, but you never actually bought the game. That's wild. That is a wild concept to me. That's just weird.
I don't think it's that wild, because it's been happening before subscription services, right? Like, there are people who, for example, will play Horizon Forbidden West through PlayStation Plus, and then they want to play the DLC, and they have to buy that separately. And then that's the way that they're going to choose to go. I don't think it's that wild, the concept. I think people should just ask themselves, okay, if this game, the previous games were released as full box premium products, what shortcuts are they going to take in order to make this, kind of game that was supposed to be sold at full price? What are they going to take? What are they going to do in order to generate that revenue back? Because they already cut out, 10 million players that they estimated were going to buy the game on PlayStation. So that means they already lost, $600 million on this game. Just out the gate, they've already lost $600 million. Now they're going to take it and are going to put it in Game Pass, which means that, let's say 1 or 2 million people were going to buy it on Xbox, or let's even say 5 million people were going to buy it on Xbox. Now you've reduced that so that maybe 1 million people will buy it over its lifetime on Xbox. So now you've lost out nearly $800 million in sales. That money has to come back.
Yes.
They're not going to be like, oh yeah, we did good, and Microsoft is just going to eat the cost. I think you don't eat $500 million worth in cost.
Yeah.
On the single game.
I think it was during the FTC. I don't know if the source came from the FTC trial, or somebody did the calculation, but there was an expectation saying that if Starfield would have been on PS5, the projection was 10 million sales.
Exactly.
On just PS5, $10 billion sales
that you are down.
Right off the bat,
than the game costs to make.
Think about it. You lost 10 million sales from a platform. So how do you make that up?
Actually, no. Hold on. At $70,
that's more.
I know that not every one of those 10 million would have been at $70.
Let's say
but just for simple calculation, that's $700 million you lost.
Yeah. So anywhere from $500,000 to $700 million is a good window.
$500 million.
It's around $500 million.
$700 million. Yeah.
And that's assuming if it stops at 10 million.
Exactly.
If it keeps going, look, God of War sold 20 million. Right? If it ends up being,
and that doesn't include all of the DLCs that those players cannot not buy because you don't offer it on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's just a base cost. So basically, listen, Starfield is coming out being $1 billion short already of what it could do for revenue over its lifetime. Now you're gonna have to find a way to make that money back. I'm sorry, but they're not gonna let Starfield just go out there and be like, "Oh yeah, this was a fun project. We lost $1 billion on it. It is what it is."
It's a good test run. It's just interesting.
They're like, "Oh well, we'll make it up next time."
Yeah,
Starfield 2.
I'm just hoping they don't do funny. It is what if it does. It is what it is.
Hey, listen, man. I hope they do funny shit, because people have to see that this is what it takes to put a major AAA game that was meant to be a premium product on Game Pass. That's what it costs. Either you pay up front, or you get, trickle down economics happening and people just keep asking for your money. You can't have it both. You can't have it both ways, where you get the premium product at the discounted price. It just doesn't work. So you have to pick your lane. And the good thing about Starfield is that for the most part of its development, it was being developed as a premium product. So that means that your base package should be something really substantial, because that's always what the design scope was. So, I think it will be substantially garbage, but at least for the people that like it, for people that hey, listen, they gave me my Fallout experience and that's really all I wanted. I think you should be able to get that there without Game Pass getting in the way. But I feel like, hey, listen, year 1, year 2, 3 years down the road, you're going to see like, oh, they're asking me to spend up to like $300 on this game in order to get all the customizations and all the ships and everything, because they're going to want to get that money back out of you.
All right. Okay. We'll see what it is. Anyway, so I guess we hit up all the topics. So, chat, I just want to say thank you so much for rocking out. I see the vote. So the question of the day was, or the week was, will vast amounts of DLC fix Starfield's lifeless universe? 24% said paid DLC fixes everything. 76% said not at 30 FPS. Lols. Nothing could be fixed.
Do you think they'll ever bring it to 60?
I know.
Or do you think they'll work to figure it out?
Yeah, no, hell no. That ain't for. It's on Game Pass. They're not doing shit. I don't think they're even gonna figure out Redfall for 60. They don't give a shit.
Oh,
they don't give a shit.
They still haven't figured out your Halo.
Yes, they don't give a shit.
For Halo is still not the thing. How's that not the thing?
Because they don't give a shit. I mean, I think.
If you're on Xbox, how do you feel about that? Because it's like, listen, a lot of people say PlayStation put 8K on the box and they still haven't delivered on that promise. And I'm like, yeah, listen, that is a problem, like 100%. The thing is, for me, I'm like, you kind of have leeway because you kind of have the entire generation to show me where this 8K was. But let's say that Sony finishes the PlayStation 5 generation and they never have 8K running, or never justify that label. That's going to be an issue for me. I'm going to be like, no, that wasn't cool.
Yeah. I don't even know why they. I don't even know why they even put 8K in a box. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
It's so pointless advertisement.
8K Blu-ray coming.
But I know, right? A play Blu-ray disc, like movies. So exactly. Like most people are not. The TVs are like $40,000. Like nobody has it. So every box doesn't have to have the word 8K on it. It's just weird and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, I know.
But imagine then that you were on the Xbox side, and they promised you all of this hardware-based ray tracing and true RDNA 20.5, and all of these things, and then Halo Infinite, the flagship game, the one that's on the box. Is it still on the box, by the way? Like, have they updated the boxes? Because it'd be kind of wild if they were still selling them.
They should have burned the box.
Halo Infinite at the back.
Yeah, they should have burned the box. They'd be like, "Wow, that was a big one." But anyway, we're gonna do our outro, man. Let the people know where they can find you and stuff like that. I know you on Twitter.
Yo, guys, listen. I'm on Twitter at E4Extreme.
No. You're on X.
Oh right, sorry. I'm on X, A12's father's X Twitter. That's where you'll find me.
Like, do we
that's
call
why
it?
I got the X in E4Extreme. I knew what was gonna happen.
Is it called now Zeet? Do we Zeet now? Is it Zeet? Yeet? Like, they changed it too. It's no longer tweet. Like, is it now?
Oh right.
We shoot out a Zeet.
Zeet.
Zeet? What is it? How you pronounce it? Zweet? Zeet?
Zweet. We Zweet now. You can Zweet at me if you want.
I'm just gonna say skeet. Yeah. I'm out here skeet. I don't know what yo, this is wild. This is so weird. Exit. It's called Exit?
Okay.
Is it really? It's called Exit? That doesn't sound. Is it really called Exit? It's Zeet or Zweet? As in, I'm about to exit Twitter. JFK TV. It's called Exit. Like, Exit? Really? Yeah, as in, I'm about to exit Twitter. Oh shit, we're about to jump on Threads. We're about to go on Threads on Instagram. Oh shit, this shit's crazy. But anyway, you can find Extreme on X. Look at that, hey.
That's why I put the X in my name.
There you go. But you gotta put it the way he wrote it. Like, copy the same like look.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're right. I'll fix that up.
All right. So catch me on Zeet or X, whatever. Elon's bullshit platform. You know, Puerto Rock 77, you already know. Hey, thank you so much for rocking out. If you're new to the channel, hope you stick around. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button. Everybody here, hit the like button, get them likes up. Don't forget to retweet this out or retweet it or rezeet. Is it rezeet now? I don't know what. Just hook a brother up and send it out wherever you go, whether on Threads, Facebook. Let people know where to find me. I truly appreciate all you guys for rocking out. See you guys next week. This is your only friend in these YouTube streets, Puerto Rock 77, you know, or according to Game Live Studio, Potato Rock. Why you have, you know, why are you making fun of potatoes? They're delicious. You got mashed potatoes. You got potatoes au gratin, right? French fries.
You got the Series S.
You got zips. Delicious. That's yo, we are out of here. That's the Series S. So don't stop mashing potatoes. Like,
hey, listen, man. When I see potatoes, I mash them.
That's it. I like you know, potato lives matters. All right, we're out of here. Peace. Oh, that was a good.